Hello there. So I want to talk about Chesterton's Fence. I think Chesterton's Fence is really important for atheists to understand, for atheists to apply to their life in general about, in this case, religion. Chesterton's Fence is the concept that you see a fence in the road, do you take it down or not? And the answer is you don't take it down. You want to understand why the fence is there. You don't just see some random fence and take it down. It could be there for a good reason. There could be a minefield behind it. You don't know. So you want to understand why the fence is there, and only if you see that it's safe to take the fence down, take the fence down. I think atheists should do this for religion. I'm not saying I think once you're an atheist, you're an atheist. And my definition of an atheist is someone who doesn't believe anything supernatural exists. Unless you have evidence, tangible evidence proving something supernatural exists, you're not going to be convinced something supernatural exists, so you're not going to believe a God exists, because a God is a supernatural being. So that's already taken down. However, that doesn't actually mean you have to take down everything about religion. That just means that this idea of a God character existing, you won't find to be true. But that doesn't mean that everything in the religion is bad. That doesn't mean that it's all wrong. That doesn't mean it's all immoral or whatever it is. Atheists like to talk about how bad and immoral and negative it is, and they think they know the Bible and the religion so much better than religious people, whatever it is. I ask, and I think I've recommended this before, whatever questions you may have, whatever views you may have on the religion in a negative light, whatever it is, speak to religious people, speak to priests, speak to rabbis, speak to whoever's out there that you can find that finds religion in a good light, in a positive light, that sees it like that, to actually speak to them about it. Let's say slavery. How is slavery in the Bible not like the same thing as slavery in America that we know to be immoral, for example, or historically in general, slavery known to be immoral? Try understanding that. My understanding of slavery in the Bible is it's really more like a servant. They teach you, through Judaism at least, you learn that you're actually supposed to treat your slaves better. You're allowed to do things. The Bible says you're allowed to do things, but if you go through all the religious texts from the Jewish perspective at least, you're supposed to, let's say, give them a better pillow. You're supposed to feed them better. You're supposed to actually treat them better. You're supposed to treat them like a really good house guest. That doesn't mean that the punishments that you're allowed to give, you're not allowed to give. It's more complicated than you realize. It's not just like, yeah, now you get to have a slave and you get to beat them and treat them like garbage all the time. That's not actually how it works. That's what atheists make you think based off the Old Testament, but that's not actually true based off Judaism. And it's important and valuable for atheists, actually, when they hear, yeah, slavery is horrible, and we all know that slavery is horrible, but to understand why religious people would buy into the slavery they buy into the Bible. And yeah, you hear atheists, yeah, it's not the same, yeah, it's just servanthood. So try understanding it. Try not being so stubborn and closed-minded to viewing it in your light and that it has to be bad. Try being open to it, actually. What's the value of it? What's the worth of it? Why is slavery there at all? It's actually there as a punishment. It's a form of punishment that some may argue is actually better. It may be better to go through a little bit of torment, a little bit of torture even, and hardships and beatings even, for a little bit of your life, where you can eventually be freed, over no torture and just imprison the rest of your life, as such a system exists now in America. That is... And they're it's complicated. My point is, it's very valuable using the concept of Chesterton's Fence to religion. Whatever you think you understand about religion to be in a negative light, there are people that understand those same things in a positive light. So that's understanding the religion and not just tearing the fence down and viewing it as a horrible thing. Because I think that's what atheists are essentially doing. They're just tearing down the fence, and they're basically saying this fence is garbage, we don't need it here, they don't even know why it's there, and they just throw it away. And and all the good stuff that comes from religion now, they have kind of, it's embedded in the society, but they're losing their grasp on it. And over the time, if they don't actually apply this concept to understanding it more and more, they're just going to find themselves further away from these things. And I think you will find yourself further away from morality, essentially. You may not believe that, but I see that to be the case. I see that when it comes to the political stuff. I explained in previous videos, I'll do more videos on it, that the things that the left are for, atheists tend to be on the left, are actually in fact immoral, and I think they're finding themselves leading there because they're losing their grasp on religion. I find the less religious a society becomes, the more immoral the society becomes. This generally, I think, is a very fair statement to say, whether you believe it or not. But I'm not here to tell you, believe everything I say. What I'm here to tell you to do today, here in this video, is understand Chesterton's Fence, understand the religion, and don't just knock it down. Try, no matter what it is, how horrible you might think the thing may be, look for the positive light that the religious people see. And I think that will just be beneficial. I think in general, when you're finding yourself hating on things and having all this negativity in you towards something, you're really hurting yourself there. If you can find the positive thing that other people find positive from, a positive light from it, all this good from it, that will be more beneficial for you. If you are just stubborn, you don't want to believe anything good from religion because it goes against your atheist views, that whatever it may be. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, that's at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Just look at religion, find religion in the most positive light you possibly can. There has been thousands and millions of religious people that have done this for thousands of years, and it will be more beneficial for you to try viewing religion like that, even if you don't believe in God. You don't have to believe in God to believe that a lot of the things religious people talk about are actually beneficial and valuable and good, and even if the thing seems horrible, they find a good light to see it in, and that's beneficial as well. And that's all I got to say about that for now. All the best, and thanks for watching.